Okay, welcome to Rick's Corner. I have another guest today who I've known for quite a while, and he's a very, very well-known trainer around Venice and LA and around the world and the media with celebrities and everybody you want to think of. And it's my pleasure to have Eric the trainer.
Woo-hoo!
We shot for this for a long time.
We did.
And you're a busy man.
We travel a lot, but I'm so glad we're both in Los Angeles right now so we can
at this moment.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard of you, and we've met up at Gold's in North Hollywood.
Yes.
And you talked to me, and I know that you have an interesting life. You train a lot of good people.
I do.
I thought we'd have a nice conversation.
I love it. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's
No,
great
my
to
pleasure.
be here.
My pleasure. So let's go back. This always reminds me. You wouldn't remember a show called This Is Your Life with Ralph Edwards?
I actually have heard of it, yeah.
Well, he would bring celebrities on, and he'd bring back, we're going to bring your school teacher from 1944, Mildred Smith. Can you come out, Mildred, and say,
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about your past, how it started.
Awesome.
And what engaged you in getting into bodybuilding and lifting, and what age was it?
First of all, you should realize I grew up on a farm in Maine, in the middle of Maine, far from the coast, so I was very inland, in a place called Farmington. There were a lot of trees and a lot of snow, and on our farm we had animals. We had pigs and sheep and even donkeys.
Yeah.
And we only got one television channel, so it was not a place where it was filled with beautiful women or media. And so I grew up working on a farm, and the way that I saw physical bodies, because my dad was not a bodybuilder at all. He was actually very slight. He was a therapist, and so he was very intellectual, not very physical. So I learned about bodies from comic books.
Really?
And action figures. And so I grew up reading comic books and playing with action figures. And to me, that was the male ideal. That was the way that you should look. If you were a hero, if you had physical prowess, if you had physical relevance, you should look a lot more like Batman or Superman or one of those guys.
Yeah, I agree. What year was that?
That was in the early 70s. I was born in 69. I'm almost 47 years old.
Okay.
And
I won't hold that against you.
No, please don't. And so I grew up in the 70s and early 80s, and it was all about superheroes for me, and sort of that fantasy world of superheroes and villains. And there wasn't a lot to do in Maine, so I was in the Boy Scouts and worked really hard to get merit badges. And
I did the same.
Yeah, and
do you remember those magazines, Charles Atlas, Kick Sand on Your Face and Own Your Own Beach? And
I do. And
well, see, that inspired a lot of people.
You're right.
And he goes back 100 years, and today they still run those ads. He's long gone, but someone's running the ads. But, you look around the world back then, okay, and to work out and have muscle, you're an oddity.
Right.
People don't have those kind of bodies.
True.
1 in a million. And so where you grew up, and when I grew up in a small town, everybody would look, I don't know if they look at you, they say, why do you want to become a body? Why do you want to be a weightlifter,
Right.
And then they tell you that as you get older, you're going to give up and turn to fat.
Right, they did. Yeah.
How often do we ever hear that?
Oh yeah, they used to say that all the time. And actually, I was a very, very small kid. So as I grew up in junior high school and high school, all of my friends, hit puberty and grew up taller. And I was literally one of the shortest kids. I didn't shave until I got to college. And so it was really hard when, you're a senior in high school and all the girls you want to go to the prom with look more like your babysitter instead of your girlfriend.
That can be a plus.
Yeah, I mean, later on it's a plus. This is the good revenge now.
Yeah, exactly. When you started training, how old were you?
I was 20 when I graduated from college. I went to New York City with the intention of just having fun. I wanted to learn how to play guitar and meet beautiful girls, experience the city. And I was offered a job in a publishing house. I was offered a job in a law firm, just these entry-level jobs.
Sure.
And I was offered a job in a retail executive program. And to tell you the truth, I didn't want to do any of them. I had been in college for 5 full years. I just really wanted just to go to New York and have fun. And so I went to the gym, a local gym in Manhattan, to work out, to decide what I wanted to do. And the woman that ran that gym spotted me, and it turns out she liked me the wrong way, like she wanted to make out. And she said,
nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong.
That's part of the training.
She said to me, how much are they offering you as your starting?
Wait, she gave you a saliva test.
She said, how much are they offering you as the starting pay? And I told her, and she said, we'll match that, and we'll certify you. You should work here. And so I thought, wow, I could actually earn a living doing something I enjoy. And I started working as a trainer. I got certified, but I learned very quickly that the certification that I received, and I'm not going to tell you the name of the company, but it's a major company, did not prepare me to be a great trainer. I had the intention of helping people, men and women, look their best. And the knowledge they had given me was not good at all. And it didn't work, and I was frustrated. And so I started doing some experimentation and working with people using my mind and trying to refigure out how fitness works.
Yeah.
And for 5 years, I worked in Manhattan and trained people and came up with a method that was unbelievable and truly original. It was a gender-specific method on how to make women look and feel their best men look and feel their best. And in a nutshell, it created women that look kind of like Jane from Tarzan and Jane.
Yeah, sure.
And the guys look like Tarzan, small waist, broad shoulders, but not too thick when they turn sideways, sure. Because people associate thickness with age, and I wanted these people that were in their 30s, 40s, even 50s and 60s to have broad shoulders but be small from the side so that they skewed younger intellectually.
Makes sense to me.
It was great.
It's I want to get into that too, but it's funny because going back in time, years ago, you didn't have to be certified to be a trainer. And
right.
There were very few trainers around. In Gold, Zabel trained Elvis Presley.
Wow.
And he trained a few celebrities like that, but that was like really few and far between. But in the gym, there were no trainers. And then someone would say, gee, can you show me how to work out? And so someone would take you under the wing and say, okay, here's what you do. Even back in the 70s when I was training down at the beach,
right.
I'd ask Arnold or Draper or somebody, what about this body part? What's the best way to attack this? And they knew. I think bodybuilders knew everything back from way back in the 40s. They knew exactly how to sculpt your body.
Right.
But I went to work for a gym as well, like you did up in Bakersfield, and they made me an instructor,
okay.
which is a trainer, and they had the sheet. And on the sheet are all the exercises. You give everybody come in these exercises, 2 sets each, and this is what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So the owner would leave the gym, and someone would come. I've been training pretty hard. They'd come in. Well, I need a different workout. Can you help me out? I'd say, yeah. And let me just disregard this. I'm going to write something up for you.
Oh, great.
And so then the owner would get mad at me. He says, no, keep it to that. I said, but these guys, they're not, as you know, they're not making progress
right.
on a standard routine that a certified trainer gives them. They need to be specific for a body part or something that's lagging, or maybe they don't have a diet, whatever. And this is what you did too.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I have a lot of people who come to me, I'm sure more come to you, and say, gee, I want to become a trainer. And I say, why? Why? You need to know what you're doing.
Right.
You need to walk the walk and talk the talk and live that life in order to portray your knowledge onto somebody else. You're not going to get it out of a book.
Absolutely.
So how did you turn that around for yourself? What went through your mind to maybe make it your own?
Well, I was determined to be the best trainer in this company.
Yeah.
And they had 1,500 trainers, and within the first year, I was their highest earner in Manhattan. And then for 5 years, I stayed their highest earner. But like your story, the management came and saw what I was doing and said, hey, what are you doing? And they started to question it.
Yeah.
And then other management said, hey, leave him alone. He's making more money than anyone else in the company for us. Mm-hmm. And so, because they got a huge percentage of what I was making. And so they let me do my thing. And I had a lot of Broadway actors, a lot of models, and a lot of people sort of in the New York showbiz world working with me. And they looked amazing. It was a really good feeling. But I knew that in order to make a huge splash in the fitness world, in order to actually become something in fitness, I had to move to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And so that was my goal, to move to LA and become a fitness guy out here. And I did after 5 years.
What year was that?
Let's see, that was in 1996. Early 96, I moved out to Los Angeles.
Okay.
And I didn't know anybody at all, like literally no one, which is death for a trainer. For those of you out there that are trainers, you know that whatever city you go to, when you go to a new city and you don't know anyone, it's kind of kills your business. You have to start from square one again. So
you gotta get back in line.
Our story is actually very funny. I was in Hollywood. You guys know where the Hollywood sign is on the side of the mountain? I was living right underneath it. And as the moving van pulled up and they were bringing my furniture into the house, I was watching them do this, and this big sort of studly guy, kind of looked like Fabio, came across the street. He's like, hey, I'm Carl, your neighbor. What do you do? And I said, I'm a personal trainer from New York. And he said, great. You work for me. I'll see you tomorrow morning. And that was it. And I thought, my goodness, what great luck. Some stranger has just hired me to be a trainer. And so the next morning I showed up at the address where he was, and there was Carl, and he said, there's your first client, and it was a major movie star. So my first client here was someone that was super, super well known. I worked with him, and then the second client I had was the producer of Batman. It just went on and on and on. Carl was paying me $23 in cash under the table and was charging them about 120 per session.
Oh, sure.
It was good for him.
Sure.
But it gave me a purpose, and it gave me a foot in the door, and I just worked for him for a couple months, and then eventually I parted ways with him and said thanks again, went to the other side of the hill where the studios are and set up my own business.
Now, when you have people like that, are you allowed to use them as, for example, for promotional stuff?
Uh-huh.
Some do, some don't, for example.
Yeah, I mean, occasionally we sign non-disclosures in the entertainment business, but then since then, I mean, I've been working out here for 15 years, and I've worked with a lot of very notable people that everyone knows I train. It's in magazines, it's on television. We have a TV show called Celebrity Sweat, and many of the people that you see on Celebrity Sweat, the actual celebrities, are clients that I currently train.
Oh, I see.
And so, and they love jumping on the show and sort of sharing with you the motivation and inspiration behind their bodies. And so, yeah, I've had the chance to work with some of the biggest names in entertainment and in film, in television, in rock and roll. We tour with bands all over the place. We're actually on tour right now with Fall Out Boy and Wiz Khalifa for the whole summer.
This is why you're gone all the time.
Oh yeah, we're gone constantly.
How do you fit your own training in?
I work usually from about 6 in the morning till about 2 or 3 in the afternoon with clients, many times up to 6 or 8 guys per hour that we're training. And then around 2 or 3, I have a big workout myself.
You don't get burnt out?
Never. I love it, man. I love fitness the way you love your girlfriend. Yeah. I mean, I'm wild about it. I mean...
Yeah, I was working in the gym all day. My workout would come around 9 o'clock at night after being there from 9 in the morning.
Wow.
And it was like, oh, man, I got to do this now, you know?
Right.
So while the heads of the gym were gone during the day and there was a free 20 minutes, I'd throw in a body part.
Okay.
You know, you got to throw it in whatever you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's hard to do something all day long for somebody else and then do yourself, too. Unless you go in early and get yours out of the way, but then you have the whole day to follow and you get tired.
Right. I think Gunnar Peterson, who's a guy who trains a lot of celebrities also, he goes in really early, like around 4:30, trains himself, and then works all day with clients.
This is what Bill Pearl used to do. He'd train at 5 and then take over the gym at 8.
But while I was in New York, Harvard Medical School did a study about the best time for a guy to work out. And they decided between 1 and 4 in the afternoon is the best time because you've been up for a while, so your blood is flowing, your circulation's going. You've had at least 2 meals, if not more. And yet you're not tired yet. So
absolutely.
I try to hit between 1 and 4 in the afternoon, a big workout, and then I slowly come down and try to go to bed early because change occurs during sleep.
Yes, it does. I noticed the same thing. In the morning, I used to train like at 5 with Ferrigno because we did the Hulk. And I just don't have the energy at 5 in the morning. I mean, I could do it.
Right.
But like you say, after lunch, you have 2 meals, you're moving around through the day, your body's warmed up. Because when you first get up in the morning, are you stiff and cold and sore?
Yeah, I really am.
It's like get out one part at a time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Come on foot, come on knee. You know, let's go into the kitchen and maybe eat if we get the arms working.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad to hear that because I don't want to be the only one in that world that does that. But in the afternoon, you do have more energy. If you get to the gym, it's like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, not busy in there.
Right.
You can do a good workout.
Massive workout. And also, you've had the full day to motivate and inspire people when you were filled with energy.
Right.
And now it's your time. I mean, you always have to take care of yourself because for those trainers out there, they're the walking business cards of their lives.
You are what you eat and what you preach. And if you have the look, you're the guy.
Absolutely.
And a lot of trainers today don't have that.
It's true. And no matter what the age, I've seen guys 21, 31, 51 who maintain their physical relevance. And then they just find themselves with lots of business.
Good example, Albert Beckles, he's 84.
Yeah, looks great.
Still training people.
So cool.
I know.
I love it.
And he had major back surgery and he's still lifting heavy.
Right.
I don't know how he does it.
But it's interesting, the very definition of being a trainer means that you're in the service industry. And a lot of trainers forget that it's not about them, it's about the clients. To be a great trainer, and we hire the very, very best trainers. I've got a team of young guys that work for me and they're all amazing because despite the fact that they are great, they have the capacity to take their ego, shrink it down, and then create a pedestal for the client.
Exactly.
And that's the key to being a great trainer.
That's what they're paying you for. They want results.
Absolutely.
And I see so many trainers in the gym today, they're standing around, especially over here at this gym, and they're texting, and the client's working out, they're doing every exercise wrong.
Right.
No one's even watching them, and they don't even give them a diet or how to train or how to eat.
Right.
And they just keep them year after year after year after year, and they throw them on the treadmill for an hour or two or whatever. What's your theory? This is really kind of... What's your thoughts on cardio and treadmills?
We actually don't allow our clients to do any cardio.
Okay.
If they do cardio, we actually fire them, and we do fire celebrity clients on occasion. I've had crazy voicemail messages from some of the biggest stars in the world begging to come back because if they don't follow our instructions, if we want their great result more than they do, we step away.
What's your reason for that with the cardio?
Because there's cardio within the workout that we provide. And doing cardio and thinking that you're going to change your body is kind of like telling people you're an investor and putting your money in a savings account. It's not an aggressive way to change your body at all. It's actually a waste of time. And we want to control every aspect, the diet, the exercise, and the sleep of a client. And so we don't need that cardio.
No, you're absolutely right. And I had told people that because they said back in the 70s, what'd you do? We didn't do anything. There was no cardio.
Right.
There were no machines. We didn't have water bottles. But it was diet. It was lack of the carbs, and then training like a cardio weight workout, for example.
Right.
Supersets, trisets, all that.
Absolutely.
And it worked good. We might take a run on the beach on a nice day, but that wasn't even part of the workout. It was just take a run and have fun.
Right.
So, and I see people in the gym today on the treadmills, they're there like 20 minutes to an hour every day, come back in the afternoon for another hour, and they say, God, I haven't lost any weight. No, but you've lost muscle.
Yeah. And you're exhausted, and your joints hurt, and your muscles ache, and all of the things, especially on women, that we find attractive as men on women, it's gravity sensitive. Their face, their breast, their gluteus maximus. When you do that heavy cardio and that pounding, those things fall, and I can't help you.
That's
tough.
right.
Yeah.
Unless you do it walking on your hands.
Right.
Then it reverses the process.
That's true.
What's your workout like for you now? What do you do? How do you split it up?
We do a classic bodybuilding workout, and we go pretty aggressive. I believe in going pretty heavy. And
It's for yourself?
For myself, yeah. And I really I enjoy it. Our dumbbells in our gym go up to 185, and we aggressively try to challenge ourselves. We work out as a group, so we have some of the top actors and top singers, top entertainers that have really taken to our workout style that join us. And we literally work out as a group, almost like you guys did back in the day. We have that camaraderie, and we push each other, and it's a blast. And we don't do it growling or screaming at each other.
No, you have to.
We do it smiling. We love it. It's like it's the best part of the whole day. I love it.
What about your diet? How's that?
It's amazing.
What do you eat?
Well, first of all, we work with a food delivery service here in Hollywood. It's called Sunfare. The guy that originally hired me when I first came to Los Angeles, Carl, actually left the training business and started Sunfare, a food delivery business, which is now the largest and most successful in Los Angeles. They're also huge in Arizona with the spring training. So I've been eating Sunfare myself for 12 years.
All right, so it's geared to it's geared to your needs. In other words, everybody has their different needs.
It is.
So if you want a high protein, low carb, maybe higher in fats, they will gear that diet towards you.
For me, it's a lot of animal-based protein and then fresh fruits and vegetables. I drink a lot of water, take vitamins, and get a lot of sleep, and I feel great, man.
Yeah. Now the sleep issue, it's important. A lot of people can't sleep.
Right.
What do you suggest with naps?
Well, I think naps are great, but also one of the reasons people can't sleep is because they're stressed in their lives, and also because they're not working out the right way. Because if you work out the right way and literally request your body to change, your body can only change during sleep. And so many times if you have a dynamite workout and you work out the right way, afterwards you'll feel tired. You're actually not tired. You've asked your body to change. Your body can only change when you're asleep. So that's your body sending you sensations to go to sleep so it can fulfill the wish that you made.
Right, because you do need that.
Absolutely.
Naps, I've tried the naps, maybe 15 minutes. If I go too long, I wake up more tired.
Okay.
And my daughter says, well, you've started the new sleep cycle and you didn't go complete it.
Right.
So you're going to be tired. But, you know, you tell yourself, you get up, say I wake up at 6:30 and I'm wide awake, and I say, oh, you don't need to get up. I'll stay till 7:30. I go back to 7:30 and I'm dead.
Okay.
It's weird.
It's kind of funny.
It is funny. It's almost like too much sleep at that point.
But I think the body responds to structure.
Yeah.
So if you're able to eat at almost the same point each day, you're able to work out around the same time, you're able to go to sleep and wake up, I think your body will thrive.
Okay, now that's a good point right there. If you switch your workouts, so in other words, you're going to switch your exercises and your body parts, you're going to change it up a little bit so you can always mix them up and keep them in shock. Do you change your eating as well? I mean, if you're going to do chicken all the time, do you change the beef or you change the fish so your body doesn't get used to it?
I create a mixture in my diet, so I'm always eating a different animal protein source.
Yeah.
So it's a constant flow. Part of it is me planning it out, and part of it is just the way life works. I'll go into a meeting, and it will be at a steak place, and I'll just happen to have steak because we're at a steak restaurant.
Sure.
I didn't plan on it. I'm a huge fan of omelets. So for those of you, if you're at a restaurant, you don't know what to get, always go for the omelet. Like, you can't go wrong. It's amazing.
We lived on them. I lived on cheese omelets and cottage cheese.
Sounds good to me.
It's all whey protein. It's good protein. And even 11 o'clock at night, we'd all go out and get a cheese omelet at Sookie's Deli.
Oh, yeah.
And go to sleep.
I love it.
And it was great protein.
Yeah. I also trained under a guy named Jack LaLanne, who a lot of the viewers don't know, but Jack LaLanne was such an amazing fitness guy and truly the largest professional mentor in my life. And he was a firm believer, if man made it, don't eat it. And so he was really into natural foods.
Yeah.
He was also into push-ups. So under his direction, I did 40,000 push-ups to raise money for charity.
Well, he lived till 90-something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's an icon. Everybody knows Jack LaLanne.
He was an amazing guy.
They still have his videos on TV and people work out with him.
Yeah.
You're right. It's just like that. You've got to let your body talk to you, though.
Absolutely.
Because as you get older, you're not that age yet, but as you get older, at my age or maybe in between, your body tells you, you know what, I can't do it today. I need some rest.
Right.
And you got to listen to it because you can overtrain, and if you overtrain, then you get injury, then you get sore muscles, and they don't respond. Actually, if you overtrain, let's just say a bicep, if you work it too hard during the week, it will retract like a turtle's head, and it won't grow.
Right.
It just gets smaller.
Absolutely.
Dave Draper told me that years ago. He said, don't overtrain your bicep. It's a small muscle.
Oh, yeah.
Just stimulate it and let it go.
And many times on back exercises, your biceps are getting a lot of work.
Yes.
So
yes.
it always cracks me up when people do back and biceps together because, I mean, it could overload your biceps in a major way.
I've never done that. I always do like chest and back, opposing muscle groups.
I do too.
Yeah, bicep, tricep.
I love it.
What's your view on anabolics today? You think there are a lot of people are on them?
I think a lot of people are on them, and I think that they have a place in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of them. I don't think they're terrible.
No, I don't either.
I think that, like anything, if you abuse them, they can really hurt you. And I know a lot of people that get sick, and occasionally you hear of bodybuilders that pass away because they abused it.
Yeah.
But you could say the same thing about aspirin. I mean, there are more deaths from aspirin than there are anabolic steroids.
I've been preaching that for so long. I think the news takes that out of proportion and makes it a horrible thing.
Right.
And it's not a horrible thing. You know, you're taking a hormone like a growth hormone, you're taking testosterone at a certain age, your body needs it, it's okay.
Absolutely.
Why is it okay for women to take estrogen?
Right.
And take a growth hormone for them to keep young?
Right.
But the guys can't do it, you know? I think it's wrong. I think if you take anything in moderation, you're fine. There were some fitness models that died from drinking too much water.
Right.
You know, so it's not just that, or let's just say a wrestler died, and then they go into his house, they say, oh, they found steroids, he died. No, he didn't. He died from something else, but they're going to blame that.
Right.
And I just think it's wrong. And the funny thing is, I was just telling you as you came in here, Obama was out here, our president, and he did a podcast with this man over in Highland Park at his house, in his small house, in his garage, and they were talking about one thing or another. But I'm thinking to myself, not that I'll ever get a chance to get Obama here, but when he can go to someone's house and do that, he can certainly come here as well.
Absolutely.
Let's just say he did. My question, and I was telling somebody to him, let me ask you something, Mr. President. Why are you so concerned, or your politics are so concerned with anabolic steroids when we have world wars and people dying all over from shooting each other and killing? Why does it matter in the government if a man wants to have an 18 or 20-inch arm?
Right.
If you look at it that way. Why does it really matter?
It really shouldn't.
Shouldn't matter. Has nothing to do with anything.
And also, hormone replacement therapy, as prescribed by a doctor, is so commonplace now.
Yes.
It's actually advertised on television constantly.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you can name an actor who's successful in Hollywood over 40 that has not done hormone replacement therapy just to maintain their physical relevance.
Well,
it's very normal.
Without naming names, because I don't want to pinpoint people because I'll get scolded for it, go to the movies that have been out for the past 6 months and look at the big name actors that are in there with their shirts off, and you can tell they're doing something.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
They're in front of the public trying to look good. More power to them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what's the difference between that or a woman getting breast implants?
Exactly.
I don't really see a difference.
I'll draw the line at synthol.
Okay.
I don't think that's necessary.
Right.
I actually thought about it because I ripped my tricep and it's flat, and I thought, well, if I could just bring it out a little bit, it would look better by maybe shooting something. Then I thought to myself, at my age, what for? I'm not competing.
Right.
It's not important.
Although you could compete. I think you could do it again.
But why? I could wrestle again too, but why?
Right.
You know, I'd rather sit and talk.
Hey, that sounds good to me. You do a great job.
All right, so if people want to find you on the internet, where can we find you and what your next plan is?
You can find me on at ericthetrainer.com.
Okay.
Or at ericthetrainer on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Okay. Do you respond to people when they message you?
I absolutely do.
Okay, I know it's hard sometimes.
But I'm very easy to reach.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. It's my pleasure.
Well, it's my pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much for
And
everything.
stay tuned, and we'll do more together, and I'll promote you out here. And it's just, I've been trying to get you for a long time.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm thrilled to be here.
Me too. I'm thrilled you're here. Thank you guys for watching Rick's Corner, and we'll see you next time. So long.
RickDrasin.com. He is the equalizer, baby. See you next time.